So we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7, chapter number 2, beginning from verse number 53. So this is a story which Hiranyakashipu is telling to his nephews and wife of his brother to console them after Hiranyaksha was killed by Lord Varahadev. And in the story he starts telling another story of a king of Ushinar who was killed in the battle, and his wives were grieving over his death. And in that story there is another story that when they were grieving and they were not allowing the body to be burned, which is a custom here, then Yamaraj, the Lord of Death, came in the form of a young boy, and he was preaching to them and he was telling them another story. So that's the story we were reading yesterday. He was telling them the story of a bird couple, Kulinga, that this bird, male and female Kulinga, they were in love with each other, living in the forest, natural environment, pure air, no pollution and no noise. And they were very happy, drinking water from the river, fresh water, and eating. And together they will play each other with their beaks. You have seen sometimes birds playing with their beaks, how they love each other. And they were very happy spending their life. Then in due course of time, the Kulingi, the lady, gave birth to 4 eggs. And then she was very much attached to them. Mothers are very attached to the babies. Those of you who have any experience of that, at least your mother. So, and then these little babies came out after some time, and then they were busy bringing food for them because they cannot fly yet. So when the male bird will go to bring some grain, and the female will be there to protect them. And then she will bring the grain and put it into their mouth, and they're always opening their mouth up like that. And then sometimes the female will go and he will stay back. So like that they were leading a very happy family life, perfectly peaceful, and there was no quarrel and no disturbance. So one day what happened, that the bird, she went out to get some food, some worm. And when she went out, she saw that there was a grain right next to the tree on which they had their nest. So she thought, oh, this is very good fortune for us. You look for something and you just find it next door. So she thought, this is grace of God. So she immediately went and tried to get the grain, but then she got caught in the net, because this was actually the net spread by the hunter, and she got stuck in it. And then when the male bird, who was also just sitting on the tree, and since it was not very far, he could see this, and then he started lamenting. So sometimes because of greed we get into trouble, and due to lack of discrimination, not making good decisions in our life, or we are very hasty to make quick money or quick success, and then, or we want to lose weight very quickly, right? There are programs like that. So then we get into trouble. And as you know the story in the hit of death, that there was this flock of pigeons and they're flying in the air all together. Sometimes you've seen all the birds how they go very nicely in a big community. And they had a chief, so they also saw the grains, and then they immediately thought that let's descend and eat the grains. But the leader, he was intelligent and experienced. When you have an intelligent and experienced leader, then your life is safe. But if you have some fool leading you, then you are in trouble. So that's the problem with democracy. That ignorant people, they select more ignorant people. And then they think that our life will be peaceful. So this leader, he told them that, wait, don't do this. How can there be grain here in the forest out of nowhere? There are no fields here. But these younger ones, they were very proud. When you have some strength in your body, then you are also very egoistic. When you become weak, then you are more sane. So he said, no, what is this? If there is problem, we can solve it. Why we have to give up this opportunity? Nice food is available and you are saying don't go there. He says, it is not always good to follow these old people. They are always trying to put restrictions. Don't do this, don't smoke, don't drink, don't go to parties. These old people, they cannot do anything themselves and they are always just trouble for the young. He says, forget to this oldie and let's go and eat. So they decided to descend, and as soon as they went, they all got caught in the net. So this old fellow was also with them because he said, well, what can I do? You are going, I cannot leave you. So he went also with them and he also got caught. Now when they got caught, then they realized the old man's wisdom. So they asked him what to do now. He says, look, I already told you, you didn't listen to me. But at least you can listen to me now. I will still save your life. And he says, don't delay it in this. He says, let's all together apply our strength and fly with the net. Because one pigeon cannot fly with the net, but all of us together we can fly. So they all got together and they flew. And by the time the hunter came, he was only looking and now the net was also gone. So he lost his net. And then as the story goes, he then tells them that I have a mouse living here in the forest who is my friend. We will go to him and he will cut it, we will come out. So sometimes it's good to take lessons from old people. What do you say, Jayananda? What do you think?
Yes, it's very good.
It's very good. Immediately you are agreeing, very good. So now this bird of course cannot do that. This is only one bird. And on top of that, what he is trying to say is that when you lament and you grieve, then you are creating more trouble for yourself. So this male Kulinga, this bird, instead of thinking what to do, he started lamenting. Oh my dear wife, she is gone. How will I live without you? What is life without a wife? And he was just grieving like that and speaking how nice time we spent together and now we will be separated. And like that he was just crying, sitting there, trying to show his affection. Sometimes when you are sick and people come to you with flowers or some card, and just to visit you feel happy. Even that sickness becomes like a cause of your happiness, because you become the source of attention. And you think, look, he also came to see me. Sometimes people boast like that. If some big man comes to visit you when you're sick in the hospital, and then you talk about it. That Obama came to see me. So you're not worried that you are sick, you are more impressed by the fact that somebody has come to see you. So like that he was also grieving, and maybe the female bird was feeling, oh look how much my husband loves me. But in the process, the hunter, he hit an arrow to this guy and he killed him. And then he took both of them. So that's what grief leads you to. So that's what is described. It says, Aho akaruno deva striya karunaya vibhu kripanam manusho chantya diniya kim karishyati. So he's saying, look how cruel is the fate, that what is he going to do with this lady? So he's blaming the fate or God, because in Sanskrit the word is Deva, which means fate, also means God. He says, look how cruel is God, he has taken away my wife. So you do something, you make your decision and you get into trouble, then you blame God for that. No, why God is doing this to me? So she is the one who went to eat the grain. What God has to do with this? If she has not gone to eat the grain, she will not be caught in the net. And now she is caught in the net, so this is God's. God should have come immediately and told her, don't do this. There is a hunter here. But looks like God was favoring the hunter, not the bird. So he must be cruel. Because if you favor a cruel man, then you are cruel. So he says, Aho akaruno deva striya karunaya vidhu. That, oh look how cruel is this. And what is he going to do with my dear wife? What will he be? What is he going to gain from her? He's taken him away. So he's not saying that the hunter is actually taking his fate, or God is taking. Kripanam manusho chantya diniya kim karishyati. He says, I am lamenting here, and what will he benefit from this little bird? So in this way he was lamenting. Kamam nayatu mam deva kimardhenatmano hime dinena jivata dukkham manena vinurayusha. Says, let this fate take me away. What will I do without my wife? Because life without wife is useless. Because wife is considered as one half, right? Better half. Better half, wife is considered. So if the better half goes away, the worse half remains. So what will he do? He will only do some worse things, right?
Yes.
So that's what it says, Kim ardhena atmanohi. Ardha means half, and atma means self. He says, she is half of myself. So if you cut a man in two pieces, like in the story we read, so and remove one half, so what the other half will do? It's useless, right? So therefore man is useless without woman. That's what he's saying. He says, Dinena Jivita dukkham anena vidarai. So he says, what will I do as a widower, leading a pitiable, miserable life? So he says, when I will come home, I will not find my wife. I will see house empty. In Sanskrit there is a saying, na griham griham ityahu, grihami griham iti uchyate. House is not called a house. It is wife who is called house. Am I right? So those who are married, they understand this, that if the wife is not home, then it's not home, because man comes home, what he finds? Nothing. There is no food. He doesn't even know how to cook. Of course, family he knows. So he can handle, but especially in India, men don't. So only the ladies in the house who cook, and men, they don't know what to do if the lady is not there. Then they have to go to the neighbor's place or somewhere. So he says, what am I going to do without my wife? I will lead completely miserable life. I don't want to live like this. And katham to ajat pakshan sthan matrihinan vibharmiham manda bhagya pratikshante niday me matram praja. And on top of that I have more problems. If wife is not there, maybe somehow he can manage. But he says, what am I going to do with these little babies? Because man cannot take care of the children. Mother can take care of the children if the husband is not there. But if the mother is not there, then husband is in big trouble. Like that joke, Albert. Name of the baby is Albert. Right? So it is a very hard job for a man to take care of the kids, because you have to be very, very tolerant with children. They have a lot of energy and they are ignorant, so they will always do some nonsense. So the man will get very angry very quickly. The woman is the one who can still be tolerant and look after them. So he says, katham tvajat pakshanstan. He says that these birds, these little babies, they don't even have wings, so they cannot fly and look for food. So how am I going to take care of them? Matrihinan vibharmiham. Without mother, how am I going to nourish them? It's no problem. Manda bhagya pratikshante niday me mataram praja. And these poor fellows now, they are waiting in the nest that where is our mother? So thinking that mother is coming with some food. Because you have seen the cows here, and we have 2 calves. So these calves are very fond of their mother, if you have seen. Actually they are not fond of mother, they are fond of the teats of the mother. They have no other interest in the mother. So they run immediately, that is the only part they run to. They don't run to her mouth or her other parts. You release them, as soon as you release them, then they know where to go. So basically the children, they like mother because that's where they get the food. So that's why he's saying that these babies, baby birds, they are ajat pakshaya mataram khaga. When Vritrasura was fighting with Indra, then Indra had cut his arms. So then he was standing there and he was praying. And he had very nice prayers in which he said that he is feeling separation from the Lord, just like the baby birds whose wings have not grown yet, they wait for the mother. Ajata paksha eva mataram khaga. But that does not show any affection. That doesn't mean that these baby birds really love the mother. They only look at the beak, not even the beak, only the grain which drops or the worm which drops in their mouth. Basically that's what they wait for. After that, let the bird go wherever it goes. So therefore he says, Stanyam yathavat satarakshadata. He gives another example. Or just like the calf who is hungry, he waits for the cow, the mother cow. So in case of the birds, they are not interested in the mother at all, it's only the worm. In case of the calf, at least they look for one part of the mother. Because the cow is not bringing them grass or anything, it's from her body that she is giving the milk. So then he is not satisfied with this also. Then he gives another Priyam Priyeva Vishutam Vishanna Manorindaksha Vidakshita. So then he gives third example. He says, just like a sweetheart who is waiting for her beloved who is gone away. So she is actually waiting for the man because she is in love with him. So he says, like that, I wait for my Lord. So that is the analogy given. So here he is talking about these birds, but they are only looking for food. But anyway, without food, how they will survive? So, evam kulingam vilpantamarat priya viyogatar masrukantham saevatam sakunika sharena vivyadha kala prahito vilinaha. So when he was lamenting like this in separation of his beloved wife, then what happened? The same hunter who had thrown the net, he shot an arrow. And the bird, he died. So therefore the moral of the story that we should not grieve even if there is some terrible situation. We should remain balanced in our mind and try to find a solution for the problem. Because simply lamenting is not going to help you and get you out of the situation. There is no need for self-pity. But try to think how you can get out of the troublesome situation or what can be done. Otherwise, even if we are not killed like the bird, we are wasting our time, our energy, our mind, and maybe becoming the butt of joke for our enemies who we are giving pleasure to them. There is one sloka that Masi Mantani Kachit Janayat Putram Idrisham, that mother should not give birth to a son who is Parinandana. Parinandana means who gives pleasure to the enemies. So you are defeated, weak, morose, unhappy, then your marriage, your enemies feel very happy. So there is no need. Like Arjuna in Bhagavad Gita. So Krishna has to speak Bhagavad Gita to get him out of that grief. He was also grieving for his relatives. So this is a basic disease of the human mind. Attachment. You know attachment? You send an email And there is an attachment. And those attachments can be a problem sometimes. Right? It can be a big virus in there. So attachments are viruses. Anyway, they're a problem. So spirituality means not to be bogged down by attachments. You have to take care of your friends, your relatives, your parents, husband, wife, brother, sister, whoever. But no attachment. Attachment causes problem. And it is very difficult to give it up. So, Munerapi Sudhistajan, Nirbandhos Sambandhinam, Muner, even the great sages, they are attached to him. Vyasdev was following his son. Putreti tanmayata tarvo bhinedu tam sarvabhut hridam minimanatosam. So this attachment is what conditions us, which limits our intelligence, our thinking process, our strength. It makes us weak. You become weak-hearted because of attachment. You lose your intelligence. Your intelligence becomes foggy. You cannot think clearly. So this is the cause of attachment. And when you cannot think clearly, then you make wrong decisions. And then wrong decisions change your life into the wrong side. Like you take a wrong highway, and then you are going on. After some time you realize, but now there is no exit for another 30 miles. So you have to drive. So sometimes you get caught like that because of wrong decision. And then even you realize that I am on a wrong highway, but what can you do now? There is no exit. So you may realize you made a mistake. You are with some person or with some job and you realize, but you can't immediately jump out. Take some time. And then you have to suffer. So therefore one has to be very careful in making decisions. And that is possible only when you keep your head clear. And grief is not what keeps your head clear. So that's the message from the story. This is what Hiranyakashipu is telling. And the Hiranyakashipu is a demon, he is a materialistic fellow. But even he is giving good teaching. So he is telling all his family members, don't grieve, let's take an action. Enemy has killed our brother, let's take some action on that. What is the use of sitting and crying? And he was very successful in his preaching. So, evam yuyam apashyantya atma payama buddhaya nainam prapshata shoshante patim varsha satairapi. So now this boy is telling the queens who are lamenting for the king. Now we come from one story to another story, and we will come to the upper story. We'll come back. So that was the story of the bird and the female bird. And now the other story is the story which the boy is telling to the queens who are lamenting for the husband. So he is saying that, look, even if you cry for 100 years, this man is not going to get up. Because he doesn't listen to you anymore. He is deaf and dumb and blind and he has no sensations. Then he is gone. There is no Atma in him, it's only the dead body. So it says, Varsha Shatairapi. And the beauty is that you are worrying, I have cancer, and I'm going to die in 6 months. And there's another fellow who has cancer, he's going to die in 3 months, and I'm worried about him. I'm saying, oh my God, you're going to die in 3 months. You only have 3 months to live. And then I sit and cry for him. But I'm also in the line. So all these ladies who are crying for the husband, it would be good if they cry if they are not going to die. But they will also die. So what are they crying for? They will go to the same destination. Just a matter of time. So what is the point in lamenting? So nainam prapshatha shoshanta patim varshata. He says even if you go on weeping, wailing, crying for 100 years, then he is not going to come back. So now you decide, Atma Payama Buddha, you are foolish. So he is calling them stupid. Says that you stupid queens, what are you doing? Atma Payana, Atma has left. The person who was giving life to this body is gone. And he is not coming back. Like you shoot an arrow, and the arrow does not come back. It just goes one way. So this is the end of that story. Now Hiranyakashipu comes back and speaks. Bala evam pravadati sarve vishmita chetasaha gyatayo me nire sarvam anityam ayathodhitam. So when this young boy was speaking like this, then all these queens and other people who have also gathered, then they all were very amazed to hear him speak. Young boy speaking big philosophical words. So everybody looked at him that, what is he saying? This makes a lot of sense. And even he was saying that, look, I am so young and you are all senior to me. How come you don't know this? So he was also putting them to shame. That you are behaving worse than me, even I will not do such a thing. Because he said, I am alone here in the forest. I can be killed by any animal. He said, but I don't worry. If my death is coming, it will come. What can I do? I live in forest. And if I have to be attacked by a tiger, I will be attacked. Where can I go? So we also live in this world where death can happen anytime. Now there are no tigers, but you can meet an accident on the road. Or some virus can come. Right? Even a mosquito can bite you. You get malaria, fever. You can die. Small thing. And even if you touch the mosquito, he dies. But he can kill you. He has got so much power. So many types of parasites, bacteria, all kinds of things. Just recently there was news, I think yesterday or today, that there was some big catastrophe some millions of years ago. The whole earth, everybody died because of some big bacteria in the ocean, and it started releasing some gas, methane gas or something, and it grew so much and there was no more oxygen left. Everybody died. So small things can also be dangerous.
There was kind of an alga in the ocean.
I don't remember it. This is the latest research scientists have come up with. Maybe it's in the news today or yesterday's paper. So Atma Payama Buddhaya, anyone can die anytime. So we should You should know this. It is not that we can say, oh, I don't care about it. Oh, you care or you don't care, it's going to happen, so better you care. So he says, Balaeva pravadati sarve vishmita chetsya. Everyone was very surprised, amazed actually to hear his statements. And Gyatyo menire sarvam anityam. So all the relatives who were assembled there, they realized that everything is temporary. This body is temporary, relations are temporary, and we should not put too much weight in them. Yamaye tadupakhya tatraivantarudhiyata gyatiyopi suyagyasya chakuryat samparayikam. So this boy who was Yamaraj, then he disappeared there only. He just walked away and then he was gone. Nobody knew where he left because he was actually not living there. He just took the form of this young boy and came there. So then he just disappeared. And then all the people, all these relatives of Suyogya, they understood and they realized that there is no point in crying. So they burned the dead body. They allowed it. They did their Pindadan, Shraddha, whatever is to be done, and they went home. Tataha shochata mayuyam param chatmanam evacha yatma ka parovatra sviya parakya evava. So now Hiranyakashipu is giving advice to them. He says, therefore, my dear nephews, sister-in-law, mother, you should not lament for anybody. Not only for others, you should not lament even for yourself. Because even your body is going to become old and die, or anything can happen to it. It's so fragile, this body. Human body is very fragile. Even other animals, they are very sturdy than human beings. Human beings can eat little thing, they get diarrhea. The other animals, they are wandering in the forest, they don't get diarrhea. And there are mosquitoes also biting them, they don't get malaria. So human beings are very prone to disease. So he says, don't lament for anything. Because ka atma ka parava, what is mine, what is yours, what is me, what is you. So who is mine and who is not mine? Who can tell this? So he says, because of ignorance, we consider some people as our own and others as not our own. And actually, nobody is yours. Even your own body is not yours. So if your own body is not yours, how can others be yours? So he says, just give up. The only thing which belongs to you is God. And He will never leave you. Because He is always with you. Your relatives, you see them sometime, but God is always inside you. Sarvasya chaham hridi sannivishtvana, and Krishna says, I'm in everybody's heart. Dosaparna savja sakhaya samanam vriksham parishasvajata. Like two birds sitting on one tree, Atma and Paramatma. The individual being and God, they are together sitting inside the heart. So He never leaves you, but we never look at Him. We are always looking away from Him and then getting bewildered. So he says this is the cause of our suffering. So swaparabhiniveshena vina jnanena dehina. So because of ajnan, we have this. So this story was being told by Narada. Hiranyakashipu was telling this to his relatives, but Narada is telling the story to Yudhishthira. So now Narada is coming back in picture. So Narada says, Iti datte patervakyam ditirakarna sushnusa putra shokam chanatyatva tatve chittam adharayat. So Narada is speaking to King Yudhishthira because Yudhishthira had asked questions, if you remember in the previous chapter, to Narada when Shishupal was killed by Krishna. So now he is saying that in this way, O Yudhishthira, when Hiranyakashipu has given this instruction, then Diti, mother of Hiranyakashipu, and Hiranyaksha, his brother who died, and along with the wife of the brother who died, so they gave up their grief. Putra Shokam Shanat Tattva. Immediately they became free, and Tattva Chittam Adharayat. They fixed their heart, their mind in Tattva, the absolute truth, reality, the self. So that is the solution. Whenever you are in grief, then think who you are. When Arjuna was in grief, and what did Krishna teach him? That is the first thing he told him, that you are not this body. His whole instruction in the second chapter begins with this, that all these kings, you, I, they have always existed, they will always exist. So this is Tattva Jnana. Because if you are situated in Tattva Jnana, in the knowledge of the self, then there is nothing to lament. Because everything which causes you lamentation is only related with the physical body, not beyond that. So this is sometimes beneficial. Even if you cannot remain situated all the time, whenever you are in trouble, at least at that time you can think of Tattva. So then you will become peaceful and your grief will go away. And then you can continue with your life. So this is the instruction given by Hiranyakashipu. So Sarakshita Rakshati Yehi Garve Yeche Shashasti Damavya. So one who protects you in the womb, he will also protect you outside the womb. Not with too much anxiety. God is there everywhere. He is inside you, he is outside. And he is our only shelter. If you can remember this, then there is nothing to lament. So this is the end of this chapter, chapter number 2. Now in chapter number 3, Narada will describe what Hiranyakashipu he himself did after that. Now after giving this big lecture, then he will make a plan to kill the enemy of his brother. So you will see his determination. What is to be learned from him is determination, which is very important to be successful in any field. If we are like wind, one day doing one thing, another day another thing, then we cannot achieve anything in our life. So So we have to become a little determined, fixed in our goal. So that is what Hiranyakashipu will teach, that although he was having a wrong goal, but he was very determined about it. So we'll stop here if there are any questions on this. Clear? Simple message, right? But profound and practical.
So, in general, in the life, people think that emotions are very important part of life of people. All kinds of emotion.
Yeah, because emotions are those which get you into motion. It's called emotion. These days everything is E.
But then here, what we see is that these emotions, they are just with this knowledge, the emotion they just give up this emotion, like separation and grief and all kind of things. So means that this knowledge is we just modify our emotion, or we just give up this emotion.
No, you don't give up anything. Giving up is very easy to say,
Yeah.
but it's not practical. So you don't give up, but you don't become influenced by it. The thing is not giving up. The thing is not to be controlled by it, not to be overpowered by it. Because the problem comes when you become overpowered by it, and then you make a wrong decision, and then you are in trouble. It's same like getting into a wrong highway because of some emotional mistake. So emotions can come and go, but you remain aloof from them. Okay?